like my next guest, actually she's waiting backstage right now. Whenever
Yeah.
she gonna stay like on our show, I played this song for like one of my favorites from the Jubilee Games when she performed with the
Yeah, that's
remember,
right. She's got beautiful voice.
beautiful was that. You know, that's
Yeah.
why everyone started to know her, and now she's kind of our smiley famous artist now. And then of course, that's the reason we have like the new song she has released on January 1st, "Choosing Hope." And
Yeah.
more than that, that's what we have our next guest, including Munira Premji from Ontario, as well as a Farah Mitha. So
Yeah.
let me go on the stay on our screen. So let me invite first Munira. She's waiting backstage. Hello, Munira. How are you?
Hello. It is such a joy to be here with you.
Thank you. Yeah, nice, so nice to see you. You know, Jalal, I know her for a very long time.
It's
Yeah,
true.
you know everyone, Salman.
Huh?
I say you know everyone except
Yeah, Shukar. Yeah, we had a really lovely time when I was in Toronto for 5 years. And my in-laws knows their family from Moshi. That's how it goes that far, yeah. But you are, I don't know what to say, Munira, about you, but you are such a commendable lady and such a admiration I have for you that I have no words what to say.
You are very kind, Salma, very kind.
No. It's the truth. Yeah.
I have admired you for as long as I have known you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
And Jalal,
we love G, of course. Go ahead.
I was just saying that being on your show makes me feel like I've arrived.
Oh, how sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you. How are you doing? Good. Keep it up. That's the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, before we listen to your story, like Munira, I cannot wait. I don't know the whole story. I just watched when you were with Farah on Friday, so I just watched on and off a little bit, just to because I knew that you are coming, so just to get to know you a little bit. But no, we listen the whole story once we have the Farah with us. So let me add the one of our superstar, rock star, Farah Mitha.
Right.
Hi guys, how's it going?
So nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Beautiful voice you have, and you are beautiful like your music.
Thank you so much, Shukar. It's been an incredible journey, and this song in particular, I'm really proud of, and the whole story and everything behind it. So thank you for having me on. I'm really excited to share it with your viewers.
Great. Yeah.
Like what you're doing, Farah, I think I want to give credit to you. That's where I saw Munira on your show, and that's where I got an idea. I said, why don't we have you guys as a team on our show as well, so we can do our 2 cents. We can spread the word through our platform. So let's welcome you both, and let's start with you, Munira, because I know the story is basically around you basically. So why don't you start and give us what is a choosing hope thing? I know you wrote a book as well.
Mm-hmm. So Choosing Hope is the title of my book. And, the whole idea about choosing hope is that it's an active state. It's not about passive thinking about hope. It's about no matter what life throws at you, no matter how difficult things are or how wonderful things are, it's about coming to life from a place of choosing hope. Because once you do that, anything becomes possible.
That's right. Wow. So true. So true. Yeah. So Farah, how, for Choosing Hope, how did you get into this, and what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I am fortunate enough to be very close friends with Munira's son, Shane. And throughout her journey, battling these 3 advanced stage cancers over several years, and in a short amount of time, I knew her a little bit before all of that. And she was already such an inspiring, wonderful, warm, cordial, welcoming human. As if you know her, then you know that.
Definitely.
As she was going through this and, reading bits of her blog and getting the stories from Shane, I was like, how can any one human handle all this and make it on the other side? And then reading her book, going into every single little detail of her story, it was just so inspiring. And the title is so apt as well, because that's really what she did. And you know, in our interview on Friday, I got to know even more of her story in depthly and more intimately. And it seems like it was her mantra. And then as, you know, her book came out and she was doing a podcast, and I've always wanted to work with her, always wanted to work with her and collaborate in some way. And it just seemed like everything aligned and the time aligned, and she was doing a podcast. She needed some music. And she was like, do you have like 20 or 30 seconds you can make for me? And I was like, no, please let me do a whole song. Please let me do a whole song for you based on you and your book and your story. And she graciously accepted. And I contacted Karim Barolia from Pakistan to see if he could produce it, because I met him in the summer when we did the Imamat Day song. And his musicianship was just so epic. And I kind of following him after that, and I could see his versatility as well. So I'm like, let me take him this pop song and see if he can give that inspiring world music feel to it. And he surely did. We presented it to her. She loved it. And then we've just kind of been on this journey of like, hey, how do we maximize this message? Because it's such a powerful message that spawned from such a powerful story. And the timing just seems so right, because we're all going through our different kinds of struggles right now that I just feel like we can all use this. So I decided to put the song out, and then, you know, interview her and do the challenge and everything. So, you know, it was all inspired by her, and you know, the timing and everything just seemed to align right now, because it's just something that we need.
And I just wanted to say that, you know, I was so nervous about approaching Farah. I figured, you know, this brilliant star, you know, so incredibly busy. Where will she find the time? But the minute I spoke with her, we were on the phone for an hour. Next thing I know, you know, she's produced and created this incredible song. So one of the lessons I've learned through my journey with cancer is, you know, people are there, and all you need to do is sometimes find the courage to open the door and say, hey, I need help. And then you meet people like Farah, who are just so incredibly gracious.
Great.
I'll say it was an opportunity for me, because she really, you know, anybody can pull inspirational music from anywhere, right? So she had the option of choosing other songs or other artists, but the fact that, you know, she asked me, I just felt so lucky, because it had been brewing, I think, for several years prior to this throughout our relationship. So
great.
Like, so Munira, you know, whatever you're doing, I think you need a big heart, and you need a big family behind you, and lots of courage. I think you are inspiration for all of us.
Definitely.
Why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit for other, you know, our viewers, the one who's going to watch later on, how to get positive from you and from your book?
Well, I got to tell you, I lived a pretty normal life for most of my life. I did what probably all of your viewers do, you know, I had a great job, a wonderful family. I kind of did my thing, and I was happy until one day in 2012, when I ended up in the emergency hospital at Toronto General. And I was diagnosed with an incurable cancer, and that's multiple myeloma. And I didn't even know what myeloma was when I was diagnosed with it. And while we were still dealing with this story, I was back at work, and 2 weeks later, I get a call from the hospital saying, you need to come back immediately because your bone marrow is doing some crazy stuff, that the biopsy, you need to come now. And when I went back, you know, 2 weeks later, I basically was now diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Salma, you will know that is
of course,
a pretty tough one, right?
Very tough. Especially the 4th stage, right?
Right. And, you know, managed to get through that. And then a few years later, I noticed a lump in my breast, and I said to my husband, I feel a lump. And he says, I don't even want to know about it. And, sure enough, it was stage 3 breast cancer. So like Farah said, 3 advanced cancers within 5 years. And, Jalal, you're so right. You don't do cancer alone. It takes a village.
Yeah.
And the statistics are pretty crazy. 1 out of nearly 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime, and 1 out of 4 will die from cancer.
Yeah.
And so my family, they have really been there for me, and they've been there through really, really difficult times, through the roller coaster. So you're absolutely right. I've certainly experienced the blessing of having people around you. And that is what I try to do today, to try and give back as best as I can.
But it's been, you have been so positive throughout, and that really, really helps. And that's the message you have given in your book, that, the hope and positive attitude and the support of the family and the friends, and the way your nature is so bubbly, so friendly, so happy, all these things help you. And that's how the other people should be feeling when they find out anything like that.
I also wanted to say, just from a place of vulnerability, it wasn't always like that for me. The first 6 months, I was a complete mess. I would tell random people, oh, I have cancer. And then they would feel sorry for me. Then I would feel sorry for me. And then we would cry. And, that's how I coped. I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know who to speak with. I didn't know how a cancer patient behaves. All I knew is I was going to die, and I was trying my best to survive because I knew I was living on borrowed time. So Salma, I have to tell you, it took me a while. It took me a while to get to a place where one day I decided, this is it. I can't feel sorry for myself. I have a choice to make, and my choice was either to kind of stay where I was or accept what had happened to me, because I couldn't will it away. It wasn't going away, and I couldn't worry about the future. So it was about staying in the present and saying, okay, I need to figure out what to do, and I need to understand that there is a power beyond me that understands what's going on, and rather than fighting it, I need to embrace it. And it was only when I did that I found space to make the changes that I needed to. So it took a while. It was a process.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have Karim on the screen also. Hi, Karim.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you? I'm good.
Very
Thanks.
well.
How are you?
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
So Karim is in Pakistan, so it's like 6:43 in Calgary. Actually, thank you so much for joining us, Karim. Karim, let me ask you this. When you heard the project, I believe it was from Mitha, like Farah. What was your reaction? What was your first word, or the one you thought?
I think all three of us, we really connected on a spiritual level, and like when Farah messaged me that day, I was having, those vibes you get that, that there's a call or there's something coming up, right? That, you want to do something. So and suddenly out of nowhere, she messaged me, and then she told me about the entire story and what's happening and what's going on. She said, would you be interested? I said, sure, why not? So, and then I wanted to know more about Munira, and then so I asked her if we can speak to her, because so that like the story, but then when you're talking and when you're present in that same environment, then you can actually connect with each other properly. Because all of us believe in those energies. So and instantly, I think we got connected, and then she sent me the song, and we just quickly we managed to finish it in few days.
Nice.
Wow. So
it was meant to be. It was meant to be for
exactly.
all three of you. Yeah, definitely.
And it's funny. it's funny that, you know, Munira was saying she was nervous to contact me. I was nervous to contact Karim. Really, he's been my first choice of who I was thinking of to produce it. And I was just like, no, he doesn't even really know me. I was like one singer on like his project. Like, why would he want to do this as a favor? And, you know, I had another producer in mind that I was supposed to meet with that's in LA that I've worked with several times. And, you know, my meeting with him got canceled. And I was like, maybe I should. So I remember I was teaching yoga one morning and I just sat in my car. I'm like, hey, Farah, just do it. Just send him a message. Just ask, you know, whatever he says.
Yeah, that's right.
God now. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. And then the deadline ended up being a lot sooner than I thought it was. And then that I remember it being when I first spoke to her. And I'd already written the song at this point. I just needed the music. So I was sitting in my car. I was like, okay, just send it. And I sent it and he responded fairly quickly. And then we were able to, and it was magical. It was really magical.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it was meant to be. Yeah.
And I love the way Karim said that it felt like there was spiritual energy, because we didn't talk about this, but certainly that's exactly how I felt. And I had no idea what a big deal he is. Like, this Karim is a big deal. You know, after we spoke on Zoom, I go back and look at his work and look at his guitar playing, and I went, whoa, I'm working with like two superstars. Like, how blessed am I, you know? And I pretty much adopted him, you know, like my son now.
How nice. That's so sweet.
That's very nice for you.
Yeah.
But I think you're the superstar, so.
Yeah. She's the superstar,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, you know, this kind of work, you know, I think it comes from the sky. I think, you know, it just makes it happen, everything. Because I remember, you know, when I was like, you know, when, you know, Farah was on my show, you know, when she wrote it down, that beautiful song, you know, Guide the Way. And she said everything, you know, came from the sky. She didn't know. She wakes up in the morning, it just everything's there. And I think with your case, Munira, you are so inspirational for all of us, like I said again and again. I think I'll say it again and again.
Yeah.
I think the words comes to like, you know, what comes to you. And that's why, you know, now we are, like, all of us are connected now on the one screen.
Yeah.
I think that's why it tells you, know, everything comes from the sky. Yeah. And I think it's an honor for us to have you, listen to you. And I think your message will go a long, long, long way. I really, truly believe that.
The superstar singing, the superstar composing, and you're giving all your hopes through your book and through your story. It has made such a beautiful, you know, thing. You know, that's what it is. So, and the choosing hope as a challenge, you know, the way you have put it together, I think that's amazing. It's really amazing, beautiful. Yeah.
That's what Farah's idea.
Sorry.
The challenge part of it is what's really exciting right now.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been thinking alongside like releasing music of having some kind of interactive activity with the listeners. Yeah. And I was in the shower like kind of mid-December and I was like, hey, I want to release the song. We started talking about it. We had a meeting about, you know, maybe doing a music video, and it kind of just, like I was talking to Jalal earlier last year, like I think these ideas just kind of come to me. And so I put it to them. I was like, what if we did kind of like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge that was several years ago? You know, they were raising awareness for ALS, and then you pour a bucket of ice on your head and you nominate 3 people and it's this big viral phenomenon. Yeah. And I was like, well, what if we do, like, there was just so many things about there was so much negativity around 2020. And I totally understand people's need to vent about it. And I support that 100%. Like, my uncle passed away. I know lots of people that have gone through really, really tough times in 2020. There was, especially as the year was ending, there was an abundance of, you know, profanity, blah, blah, blah. 2020, I hate 2020. Never, I want to remember 2020. And it was just so disheartening because there were a lot of them. If you shift your perspective, if you shift your paradigm, there's so many beautiful things that came out of 2020, one of which was this project. Yeah. I started reflecting on, like, what if people could shift the energy, because we all believe in energy, right? And how if you're grateful for things, in the universe, the world will give you more things to be grateful for. So I was like, what if we create a similar challenge where people have to focus on what they're grateful for in 2020, also what they're hopeful for in the upcoming year, just to shift the communal energy. And that's why we're trying to encourage as many people as possible to participate in this.
Yeah.
Because if it starts to reach thousands and thousands of people, then we're all shifting this energy together. It's not just the three, it's not just the song, it's not just the book, it's not just the composition. It's all of us now being a part of this message, and all of us being a part of this energy. So that's what I'm kind of most excited about. What's come out of this is this challenge that I hope people will participate in. And then today, as I was driving to go for a beautiful hike today, because one of the things I'm grateful for is having been in LA through this pandemic and having access to sunshine and safe outdoor space, especially through the winter. And this thought came to me where every year is your year. You know, we all go into the year being like, oh, I think this year is going to be my year, and this is when everything's going to come together. But if you really break it down, every single year is your year, because it's all cumulative in making you who you are and shaping your journey, building your puzzle the way it's supposed to be. If we kind of stop thinking of it as all these bad things happened, and by all means, like I said, I support the venting of frustrations in constructive ways. I think that is important as well. But if we start to be like, no, this was like, what else came out of this year? And I've been seeing people's videos as they post, and it's just like eye-opening. So I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, you're right. Mother Nature got a chance to heal this year or last year.
Yeah.
So much pollution came down. The ozone layer rebuilt.
So many nice things.
For the first time, you know? And so there's a lot of rest and repose that happened that we needed and that we're ignoring. So really the point of the challenge is to bring light upon the beautiful things that also happened.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Totally. You have to mind shift. You know, if you have that mind shift, then think about all the good things, then all that energy goes into the universe. And then that positive energy brings a lot of nice things. Yeah, that's what it is. So Temur, so you composed the music. So is there any chance that we can hear something?
Like right now?
Yeah.
So I basically shifted to a new place, and currently I have nothing on me.
Nothing?
I'm just using my phone and my headphones to just be here right now. So
yeah, but you know, we can we can listen from Farah, I guess, maybe a couple of words.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Fought him on the battle, looked them in the eyes, knew it wasn't over, we could celebrate the night. Hush, my babies, don't you cry. Don't look like me, but I'm here inside. So I did this fun thing with Munira during our interview on Friday, and I would love to do that here. It's like I sing a bit of the song, and then she can explain to you the story that it was about or that it reminded her of.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that first paragraph really made me cry. I wanted to say that it took me many days to read the song. When Farah sent it to me, I read the first paragraph and I just cried. And it took me a couple of days to come back to the song. And the reason for that is the first paragraph talks about fought and won the battle, looked them in the eyes. And this was the day, March 12th, 2012, when I almost died. And my husband was beside me and my kids were beside me. And in the words Farah talks about, we could celebrate the night. Hush, my babies, don't you cry. I don't look like me, but I'm here inside. And I remember that whole time I was thinking to myself, my goodness, what is the one thing I can say to Sabrina? What is the one thing I can say to Naguib or to Shane that will keep them for the rest of their lives? Because today is my day to go. So that first paragraph just gripped my heart.
Wow. So beautiful, so beautiful.
This next part, and I wrote it without, it's funny because I ended up writing the song without fully reading the book yet. And when I went back and read the whole thing, I started crying at certain parts because I was like, whoa, it's almost like I had channeled that directly from her. So this next part is, sit and burn the candle on both ends every night. falling down and getting up, learning a new life, life of a survivor, facing new desires, won't sit down, gotta ignite us. And there was this part in her book where she fell in the Kane parking lot because her legs fell. Now I'll turn that over to you, but when I read that, I just started bawling because I was like, oh my God.
Right. I fell down in the parking lot away from Jamaat Khana, and I wasn't able to get up, and I didn't have my phone close to me because my purse, when I fell, the purse was away. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, my goodness, I've fallen down and I can't get up by myself, and I have to wait until somebody shows up.
Yeah.
And somebody actually did show up about 15 minutes later and picked me up and took me to Kane. So, yeah. And this particular verse meant so much to me because it talks about life of a survivor, facing new desires, learning a new life. You know, my old life no longer existed. You know, I didn't have a place to go to work every day, you know, and that's what I did every day. I lost my independence. I lost my ability to walk. I was completely dependent. And so, you know, these words again just gripped me because I was falling down. I was getting up. I was learning a new life, and I was trying to figure things out. You know, who am I?
Wow.
Who is Munira? Because anything I knew about Munira no longer existed, and I had to go deep to find me again through that. And that was a process.
This is so cool. I love breaking down the song lyrics and the story that it's about. This is so fun. The next, I don't know how much time we have. You can cut me off whenever.
Songwriter's process, yeah.
Right?
Songwriter's process, yeah.
This is really behind the scenes that you guys are getting to see right now, which I think is so fascinating because I love knowing like my favorite artists and my favorite songs, like what inspired those lyrics, because the lyrics, like line by line, is like one line could tell an entire book, really, like, or an entire experience. And then how do you pull one line to describe a whole experience, you know? So this next part goes, holding on, yes, I've had enough, but I'm not giving up. All my darkest days of love will hold me up. I will survive.
Beautiful.
Okay,
that's
so
the pre-chorus, yeah.
This one is my favorite part.
Favorite part,
This is my favorite part. It's so strong, and there is so much courage and passion enveloped in one. And the reason I love this one is because it's not just about me. It's not just about individuals who are going through cancer, but anybody who's going through their darkest days. You know, it could be a divorce. It could be having lost their job. It could be, you know, the pandemic, you know, and the havoc that has caused in so many lives. It could be a father in the hospital, you know, whatever the situation is, the way you get through it is you choose hope and you don't let go. And, you know, when I think about hope, I think about hope and I think about faith interchangeably, right? So hope and faith is what you hold on, and it's unseen. Right? You don't see it. And yet the power behind it is what fuels you. And then if I don't wake up tomorrow, I've got no regrets. So I choose hope, count my blessings to the very last breath. So I love this because this is all of us. All of us, when we, you know, we're like rivers, you know, rivers going into the oceans. And sometimes we forget our way to the ocean. And sometimes we have, you know, really strong currents, and sometimes we just stagnate in one place, but we are all worthy and we all make it into the sea. And so there are times when, you know, we have a hard time getting there, and that's when we choose hope. So I love this. I love.
Beautiful. Yeah.
In my head all the time, Farah.
My favorite part was the chorus, and like she was kind of pulling out some of the words there. So, and I choose hope. I've come this far. I want to see what's next. I'm not letting go. If I don't wake up tomorrow, I got no regrets. Didn't think I would make it. Just couldn't admit it. Was crashing and burning, but it woke up my spirit. So I choose hope. count the blessings till my very last breath. And I would say that's my favorite part, because for me, a chorus is a part of a song that you want as many people as possible to resonate with. So the verse, I tried to make them a bit more personal to her story, especially the first verse was very much supposed to be personal to her and her story and her experience. The second verse, as I was explaining even to her on Friday during our interview, was I wanted it to be like how we saw her as such a leader and somebody that had so much courage and so much power and strength to so vulnerably share her story to help us. She didn't have to do that. You know, the first line in the second verse is wear the scars so proud. Like, she didn't have to show us her scars. So many people just want to cover up and hide her scars. And here she is taking it all off, being like, no, let me show you so you can learn too, because we're all going through some version of it.
Yeah, some version. You're so right.
So going back to the chorus, I wanted it to be something that really resonated, and it just resonated with me because at the time, you know, as artists, we're all always going through different existential crises, right? And so I'd kind of just started working with a coach and come to the conclusion that I'm going to live my life such that if I don't wake up tomorrow, if for whatever reason I don't wake up tomorrow, I don't have regrets from the next day. And that's going to dictate how I prioritize and spend my day. And then when I thought of it from her perspective, you know, she'd already been through so much. She'd already fought so much. She's already been such an amazing spirit that I wanted her to hear it and be like, if for whatever reason it's in your nasib, it's part of your fate to not wake up tomorrow, you have been such a blessing to so many people. There should be no regrets. And I want everybody to feel that way. That one, this is something you can use to choose how you prioritize your day and your life, the next month, the next 6 months, whatever. But also, if you're at that point, right, there's no room for regrets. There's no room for that energy. So it was supposed to have that kind of duality of meaning. And then you have to hear the music. Like, if you guys haven't heard the song, or whoever's watching hasn't heard the song, you have to hear the music that Karim has put behind this. And I'd love him to explain kind of how he chose the instrumentation.
So let's hear
the energy that he put into it, because a piece of art is really the culmination of the energy that we're feeling when we're putting into it. So he did such an amazing job. It was like perfect right off the bat.
Wow, nice. Yeah.
As Jalal said, that it just came from the sky.
Yeah.
And but I think, like, after hearing the story and then your songwriting, like we discussed about it, you know, like how you hear that it has that orchestral feeling that you're loud but subtle. You're trying to, you know, like shout your heart out, but then again in a very subtle way. Right. And that's why you hear those, you know, those like pumped up beats to it, like those marching ones that and it sounds like that, although you're singing it, but it just feels like that. Like thousands and thousands of people are singing that song together. Like I can hear lots of voices in it. So, and that's why
you gave it.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if you speaking about the musical side of it, there's not much more happening in the music. It's just, it's very subtle, but still, like, it sounds like that it has like an orchestra playing behind. So, and that orchestra is basically all those other voices by different, like all these different people who are going through something or the other in their lives. Yeah. And you hear that in that song. And to be honest, I just feel like it just came naturally. I didn't even have to think. Generally, like when you're writing music or producing music, you have to, you know, sit down and think that, okay, this is how it should be going. And when I heard the demo, and instantly it just like, I think maybe I sent you something like quickly, right? I can't remember. Like really quickly, that this is how I can imagine that. This is my imagination, and see if all of us are in the same imagination, and if all of us are in the same universe. But we are actually, and so it just came naturally. So pretty much.
Even being a little too humble, because like And maybe because he wasn't conscious of it when it was happening, but even in the bridge, I noticed how, so the first line of the bridge is, I got a decision to make, can't sit in this heartache. And he put what sounds like a clock ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's there. It's not too subtle. Like you can hear it, but
yeah,
maybe you might not register that it sounds supposed to sound like a clock ticking, because I have a
it is.
And you know, it's the significance of time passing that, you know, as Munira's message, choosing hope, like every moment you have to choose hope, every single second, and every second that you're not choosing hope, any second that you're sitting in sorrow or whatever else is a moment that you've lost to choose hope and be a part of a different energy. And we have to cycle through all different kinds of energies for sure. But I just thought that was so brilliant that he put that little clock sound in the background. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was a reminder for all of us that, you know, we just have to get through this.
Get through, Make the most of every day, every hour, every second, if you can make the most of it. And that's what it is, hope. You know, so it's so... So
Farah, or like Munira, if you can tell us how someone can participate in your Choosing Hope challenge.
Yeah.
Sure, I can start, and then I'd love for Farah and Karim to continue. So with Choosing Hope, we've tried to keep it incredibly simple. So the idea is for you to say one thing that you are grateful for in 2020 and one thing you're hopeful for in 2021. So if I were to do an example for you, I would say in 2020, I was incredibly grateful to collaborate on this project with, you know, the talented Farah and Karim.
Yeah.
And I would say that in 2021, I'm hopeful that 100,000 people will participate in the Choosing Hope Challenge.
Yeah.
Right? So that's all you have to do. And there is something about the energy of speaking it.
Yeah.
You know, it is so powerful, you know?
Yeah.
And if you're not comfortable speaking it, you can certainly write it. Yeah. And then the idea is to do two more things. One is to tag 3 people you know.
Yeah.
You know, so that this continues and continues, you know. And the second thing is to just make sure that you hashtag Choosing Hope Challenge.
Yeah.
Nice.
I still have to make that video.
I know, we're waiting. People can even make multiple videos. Like I've already done, I think about 3 of them so that I can tag more people. Exactly like she said, we just tried to keep it really simple. You just introduce yourself and say who you are, what you do. And you don't even have to say what your job is. You can say what your passion is. Like if you're a poet or if you're a singer yourself, but that's not what you do professionally, totally fine. You get to choose how you introduce yourself. And then, you know, you could thank the person that nominated you so that they get a little bit of acknowledgement, but not necessary. And then one thing you're grateful for from 2020, one thing you're hopeful for from 2021. I nominate at least 3 people. You're welcome to nominate more, either in the video itself or in the caption. And then make sure you hashtag Choosing Hope Challenge. And then you post it to whichever social media you use. Mine have mostly been on Instagram. Munira's have mostly been on Facebook. We'll see where Karim's floats and lands. And we're obviously, I think you guys hopefully will do yours on Facebook because I'm officially nominating you, Jalal. Every single one of your viewers right now, you are officially nominated.
No, Jalal, come on.
And this is one of the things you have to do. I'm putting my foot down. Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are feeling shy right now because they might not have been able to see their hairdresser because of quarantine, or I can't go get my eyebrows threaded. I understand that some people don't want to be on video or they're kind of shy to talk, but part of
I don't even remember the last time I went for a haircut or something. I don't know.
That's the thing. I don't understand how great they look. Like, Karim, you look very handsome.
This
look is working for you. And so for all of you who are kind of nervous and shy about it, let this be, like, my hope is that this is an opportunity for you to overcome some of those fears, some of those nervousness and shyness, because if we can't live, if we can't live this life to its fullest and extract every single drop, every single emotion, then I feel like we're doing a disservice to the creator that put us here. You know? So my vibe and my energy is very much about pushing people just outside of their comfort zones, you know?
Yeah.
So if this is something, you know, to your viewers that you might be a little bit nervous about, please do it anyway. Go through the process. I made the first one, it took me like 100 takes. I was driving my brother crazy because I just wanted to get the right lighting, the right angle, the right wording, not simple. You don't even have to be perfect. You can literally hold the phone in front of your face while you're walking outside and be like, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah. I was, you know, so don't be shy. Please participate. We want to keep the momentum going. We'd love to get all of you involved.
I think that's a very great idea. Very great idea. Yeah. Thank you for being with us. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we'll give the last word to Munira before we let everyone go.
Yeah.
So Munira, what do you want to say? Yeah, like, you know, like I said, you are inspiration for us. What do you want to say to our viewers and for all your fans now?
Wow. I just want to say that I'm really thrilled to be here with all of you. I think that life is a gift.
Yeah.
I think that so often we walk about, you know, not recognizing that we are incredible beings and that we need to shine our light. And, you know, I think Rumi says it very well when he says something like, you know, you were born with wings. Why prefer to crawl through life? You know, so it's about each one of us understanding the incredible gift that we have and living our lives with purpose, living our lives with joy, living our lives with meaning, and making it easier for everybody else that we meet around, you know, through our path.
Yeah. So,
do you have your book with you that you could show everybody?
Yeah, is it available on Amazon?
I know you wanted to give her the last word, but I just, you know, if people are not pumping themselves up enough, that's what I'm going to jump in. Please get her book from Amazon and read it, because it's not just a story about an incredibly inspirational woman going through 3 advanced cancers. It's a book on life and how to go through the difficulties of life. So I guarantee if you read this book, you will get some profound spiritual inspiration, but also some very tangible tools to go through life with that will just aid you and support you for all ages. Like in our interview, we had 16-year-olds that were really inspired, all the way to older people. Like, everybody needs to go buy that book and read that book and learn. And yes, that's the other thing I'm going to put my foot down on.
You know, I did not pay Farah to say that.
She did it, and I knew she wouldn't say it herself, so that's why I jumped in.
Yeah. So you can get it from Amazon. You can also get it from the publishers, and the publishers are Mavenzi publishers. Okay. And you can get it from, you know, Chapters and Indigo and wherever you get your books from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. So nice talking to all of you. And be the hope for others always, with your inspiration, with your songs, with your composing. With all of you are brilliant what you are doing, and we wish you all the best. And thank you for coming to our show and making us look good. So thank you once again. Thank you so much. All the best for the new year.
Thanks for having
me. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, Karim.
Take care.
And Munira.
So guys, ये थे Farah, Munira, and Karim Barolia all the way from Karachi, Pakistan. So make sure do your part and do this video, choosing hope challenge.
Subscribe to our official YouTube channel and stay updated.